Have you ever met a pastor that just gave up, came in and quit, or maybe just ran out of the church, or a music leader that just stopped doing what he was doing or doing what she was doing? Choir director, a children's church director, people in the church that just quit, and you don't know why, what happened. And there could have been a lot of things. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of drama in the church, a lot of drama. But there are things that we need to put in perspective. And two things that I want to share with you today briefly is that we must not operate in the power of reputation. I learned that when you operate in the power of reputation, eventually you get frustrated, you're not yourself, you lose your sense of purpose, and you just can't operate. When we are working in the church, we must operate to the power and the value of redemption. According to churchleaders.com, more than 1,700 pastors leave the ministry every month. 9marks.org, a website for church development and growth, states that 50% of the pastors will not last 5 years. In 2009, there was an article posted on freebelievers.com stating that many denominations report an empty pulpit crisis. A crisis. Can you imagine that? A crisis in the pulpit. Nobody wanted to preach. They could not find ministers willing to fill these positions. The worst report I found, though, was in MaranathaLife.com, where there was a survey, and they surveyed pastors' wives, and the wives said that the worst event that's ever happened in their marriage or in their family was the day they entered the ministry. Now, that's crazy. I'm a minister. I'm a pastor. And within the church, I've learned that there's a lot of things that have to be done, that have to be accomplished. One of the things that I was doing was I was accomplishing them through the power of reputation. I wanted people to be happy. And I forgot that you had to accomplish the things in the church through the power of redemption. Not reputation, but through the power of redemption. I'm a pastor that's been hurt, and the Lord had really had to just heal me and restore me. And I came to discover, after I was hurt and restored and healed, what He called me to do. And I just want to share this because there's a lot of ministers, people that are in the church. You don't have to be a pastor per se. People that are in the church that are hurt and have lost their identity. They're frustrated and they lost their sense of purpose. And reputation will do that to you. Reputation is basically how people look at you, how they view you. And most ministers, their pastors, they stop leading the flock and allow the flock and the view of the flock to lead them. And they make decisions based on what people think. And they're frustrated. Because they're doing what people want them to do and acting how people want them to act, they're frustrated. So they get mad at the people they're called to serve. They get mad at the ministry they're supposed to do and enhance. They get mad at the church. They get mad and they begin to wonder, is this what God really called me to do? Is this the office that I'm really supposed to have? Now, this right here, let me see here, you can see him. This is my friend. He's been called to minister to the balloon community. Bishop Balloon Man, I don't know what to call him. You know, he's been in this for a long time. But he stopped operating on the power of redemption. And as people began to tell him what to do, he began to be frustrated and not be able to operate and hold what God has placed inside of him. And eventually, he was gone. You see, he was frustrated, and because he was frustrated, he became a victim. Harvey Fernstein said, never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to become a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life, but define yourself. He lost his identity. He just doesn't know who he was anymore. So he quit. He gave up. He forgot. many pastors just forget, and many ministers forget that there's actually a person inside of them. Before they even started the ministry, there's the person that was living inside of them. They get lost in the church. And I thought the church was the place where we're supposed to find people. They get lost in their work, and they have no real purpose. They have no identity and no real purpose. They don't know what to do because they don't know who they are. Thomas Edison once says, being busy does not always mean real work. The object of all work is production or accomplishment. And to either of these ends, there must be forethought, system, planning, intelligence, and honest purpose, as well as perspiration. Seeming to do something is not doing. Too many ministers lose their purpose. They preach and they teach and they attend service after service, and they just forget their purpose. All this behavior is because they operate on the power of reputation. You try to do more. You try to say things louder or more eloquently, and you study harder. Behind the scenes, you're frustrated. Behind the scenes, you don't know who you are anymore. But when a minister begins to operate from the position and the value of redemption, a pastor can lead a flock in love and won't get frustrated, won't get easily angered or easily discouraged because he loves. And according to 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4, love is patient and love is kind. When you operate in redemption, you know that your identity is in Christ. So you can serve as a pastor, then you can go home and be a loving husband or spouse, You can be a parent to your child, and you can be yourself. No longer having to prove yourself to find yourself, No longer having to prove yourself to make anybody happy. Your identity is connected to your purpose. Your identity is connected in Christ. And because Christ gives you your purpose, then your identity is connected to your purpose. When you operate out of the power of redemption and not reputation, your purpose is crystal clear. There's no trying to please people. You just want to please God. You do things on purpose with a purpose. You operate on His plans. And because you operate on His plans, you're not frustrated. You know what the next move is. And even when you don't know what the next move is, you wait on Him patiently because you're operating under His purpose. So in conclusion, running a ministry out of reputation will leave you frustrated. Now, running a ministry out of the value of redemption will connect you to your purpose. And it is better to walk on purpose than simply just propose to walk. This is my time. My name is Nuland Vargas. Thank you very much.